my friends who have kids are in hell. I actually don't know anyone who's like happy and has children at this age. I have like
I'm not pro-life anymore. I'm pro-Jesus. You get me? And I think that's where we ought to be anyway.
We're going to be talking about chapel. 1-year-old, like 3-year-old, 4 and under, 5 and under. I literally have not met anyone who's happy, anyone who has like light in their eyes, anyone who has slept.
This is the prevailing narrative among young leftist women anyways, so to hear this is not at all shocking. What does really stand out to me is the word hell. That's a pretty dramatic characterization of motherhood, and I think Chaperone in particular has the worst point of reference for giving any sort of commentary on motherhood as a young woman who's in Hollywood, who is a pop star, and who also happens to be lesbian.
Hello guys, it's your boy Josh. I want to make a really short, simple video on this issue with pro-life, pro-abortion and all of that. I'm at the place, right, in Christ where I'm not really driven by the pro-life agenda anymore. I've actually looked into the pro-life agenda. I've looked into it a lot. And unfortunately, the argument is rooted upon the fact that the infant, meaning the child growing in the womb of the woman, should have his rights, or just the recognition of the life within the woman, right? And the life within the womb. And we are while attention is driven towards that, the main aim is that the child should not be killed during the course of pregnancy, and she should and whoever the mother is, the potential mother, should give birth to the child. There are many flaws from a Christian perspective when we are actually diving into the pro-abortion spectrum. There are many pro-life or pro-abortion spectrum. There are many flaws. As a Christian, I don't want to be pro-life driven. Why? Because it doesn't solve 5 main things. For me, in view of the Bible, in view of Christ, the pro-life doesn't solve 5 main things. And I'm speaking from the perspective of being in church, actually dealing with single mothers, having met people that are victims of broken relationships. Oh, he left me when I got pregnant. All of that, you will find that a lot in the church. Many women coming for answers. 19-year-olds with a child, 20-year-old with 2 kids. You would find all of that in the church, and we try to give them care. We try to pray for them, but does giving birth to the child, does it save the problem? Does it solve all the problem? I'm not pro-life anymore. I'm pro-Jesus. You get me? And I think that's where we ought to be anyway. I'm pro-Jesus because I feel like the pro-life doesn't solve the problem of promiscuity, right? Most of the times, these women still keep chasing after men. Or the men that give birth to the child, that abandon the child, they run on to other women, right? You still have to try to find him. You have to counsel him. Maybe sometimes, look at scenarios where this guy was dating this lady for 2 years. Dated her for 2 years. Soon as she got pregnant, he's gone. And it's while you're in her ears, like, oh, you have to save the child, and blah blah blah. We should be hard on the point of no to promiscuity, no to cohabitation, no to nudity. Don't dress in a provocative manner, and that goes for men as well as women, because sometimes men are kind of like they want to. There's this thing called looks masking or looks maxing, right? Where you want to like be at your best. You want to like work on your chest. You want to walk on your shoulders. You want to walk on your chin. You want to walk on the beards, on the teeth, on the hair. You want to come in with earrings. You want to come in with rings, and it's too much. Like at that point, it's too much. Once you're a young person, and that is your focus, really. Your neck is blinking, your ears are blinking, your teeth is blinking, your fingers are blinking, your arm is blinking. There's something wrong with you. You shouldn't be trying to be like a rapper. Your aim should not be a gangster look or a rapper look. Your aim as a Christian, as a young person, should be church driven, should be Christianity driven. my heart right now is more on pro-Jesus. I want to just preach Jesus and push Jesus to people, right? To bring people into knowing Christ more. Not necessarily anything else. I'm not saying I would support a woman aborting a child. No, I definitely would not. But I would not be in a conversation where we are discussing when is it legal to kill your child. I'm not going to be in a conversation where we are arguing, oh, before 6 weeks is fine, before 3 months or 6 months is fine. There's no fine. And beyond that, you shouldn't even be doing anything. You shouldn't even be in a position where you are discussing whether you should kill your child. It shouldn't even be an idea. You shouldn't even think it. Unfortunately, we are where we are, right? We are where we are. So, one of the reasons I'm stepping out of the pro-life and pro-abortion debates and discussions is because I want to be 100% pro-Jesus. I want to make sure that my thoughts, my actions, my push, when I'm speaking in my speech and in everything, I'm driving people towards modeling the Lord, towards knowing the Lord the more, towards that, and not towards just like saving the baby. Because we also have to look at the issue of childcare. There are many people that give birth to these children and there is no childcare. The 20-year-old girl still needs care herself. So you would break down in tears just looking at some of them cry when we bring them, invite them to church, and we take care of them. Maybe like somebody braids their hair, or maybe somebody fix their nails. Maybe somebody is fixing their nails, someone is braiding their hair. Things like that just makes them cry. Some of them tell you they've not had their nails done in a year. It's that bad because she's taking care of 3 children. She's not had the time. She has not looked pretty at all. She has not had the time to she doesn't even believe there's an option out there for her. It's when you get to hear these things and you realize, the children are being raised in a broken home. They are being raised in a bad system. It's hard to say their mom loves them because she's crying all the time. She's crying, we see the women in church. Sometimes you give them a little bit of money. Sometimes you're like, hey, here, we see it. You see it all the time. So, and I'm not saying, for that reason, you should abort the child or give the child up for adoption, because even in adoption, you are not guaranteed. The system is not fail-proof. The child care system is not fail-proof. It's not a given. It's not 100% given that you give up your child for adoption and the child goes into a good home, or the child goes into a functioning system that takes care of the child. Some of these systems are bad. Some of these systems are worse than the broken home. So from a more mature position, I would say I'm more pro-Jesus, and my aim is going to be more pro-Jesus. If I find somebody that's pregnant, feed them Jesus. If I find someone in a relationship, feed them Jesus. If I find somebody that's a single mom, feed them Jesus. If I find someone single, doesn't have a kid, doesn't have a boyfriend, feed them Jesus. If you find somebody searching, feed them Jesus. You recently got divorced, feed them Jesus. You just got married, good luck to you, feed you a little bit more Jesus. That's just all, because pro-life, pro-debate for me doesn't really solve the issue. And I just wanted to attach some other videos so you guys could actually see my perspective. I hope this blesses you.